Hello, it's Jason.
Hello, Jason. This is Sherry Shorten with the EMC Gazette, or the Montgomery County Gazette now. Did you have a moment?
I do.
Okay. We had been trying to get in touch with Mr. Keough, and somebody came across and gave me your number that maybe you could get answers for us.
Okay.
Okay. We had received the accident report and so forth on Mr. Keough. Did he actually suffer a stroke before, during, or after the accident?
No, he did not.
No, he did not. Okay.
That was initially what was advised to the EMS at the scene, because that's what they suspected, but the doctors ruled that out within the first hour of him being in the emergency room.
Okay. And then did his driver's license get suspended or revoked, and if so, when?
No, what had occurred was, like any accident, the license was taken from the scene of the accident from him.
Uh-huh.
And so upon, being released to go back to work a couple of weeks after the accident, because he did suffer broken ribs.
Uh-huh.
And so he was like, I'm trying to get back to work, but I can't find my driver's license. So in the meantime, I drove him around. Right. And lo and behold, we found out that the license was taken at the scene, and he had to go to DPS and submit medical documents to DPS to get his license back, which he did, and they reissued his license to him on sometime in May, early May, which is about, I think, 4 or 5 weeks after his accident.
Okay. Well, what about the current hearing that was scheduled?
So all hearings, all issues related to, potential medical issues are required to go before a medical review board. The medical review board, unfortunately, in this situation, we did not get notice. When I say we, Mark did not get notice of this medical review board, and he never saw it, so he failed to appear to the medical review board, which then put this in place in the JP court for the JP court to look at the medical documents. The state requires all individuals in this case to prove with a medical record that they are eligible to drive. And the medical record that he has from being released in April from the doctor, and then again for the medical review board, and then again at his 6-month follow-up shows he did not suffer neurological, cardiological issues, has no medical conditions, and was released with full driving privileges and to resume normal working and daily life activities.
Okay. Well, when he failed to appear, did they suspend it a second time?
No, it was never suspended to begin with. The license has never been suspended. It was just, we hold it until you come to us. They made him take a driving test and made him take a written driving test to get it back.
According to Texas DPS, the license was revoked for medical review board, which meant he had
for failure to appear. And then once he got notice in September that it was being revoked for medical failure to appear for the medical board, it said you have 30 days to respond to this, or by this date your license will be revoked. He responded, which stayed that revocation.
Okay.
And under the Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 522.301, while this case is pending in a justice court, there is no revocation nor suspension. He has a valid, active driver's license. He actively drives today.
Okay.
So at the disposition of his case in JP court, based on the preponderance of evidence, this will all go to bed because he's got several months worth of doctor's records to show there was no medical condition
or
has never been
or anything like that.
No,
since then.
Not at all. Okay. Never proven then the day of the accident. Never proven since then. They've monitored him. He's done stress tests. He's done everything medically advisable by several doctors to try to get to the bottom of it. They can find no evidence of any medical conditions. In fact, he's healthier than I am. He's 32 years older than me. So.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that according to DPS, that his license is revoked for medical advisory review board, the MAB.
So according to the driver's license record, it is pending a medical review board at this time, status still active.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way that reads. Okay. Then he claims that the sleep deprivation was in the Conroe Courier article that instead of being a stroke, that it was more sleep deprivation?
That's more of, I would say, what the doctor said. That's the only thing they can point to.
Okay.
At that particular point in the session, we were very busy. Hearings were going on late at night, early in the day. That particular day when the accident occurred, he had a bill pending in committee that morning.
Uh-huh.
And I know for a fact, me and him were on the phone well past 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
Doing further research on the bill. We had not left the office until after 11 that night, but we still conducted business by phone from our apartments. And I only got about 3 hours of sleep that morning because we had to be back in the office early to start the day, which he didn't show up for because he had the accident.
Right.
So it is something that, as a staffer, I have long gone 3 or 4 days with less than 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep.
Right.
And, it's that time of the session. It's just a grueling schedule we keep for session. I
understand.
Actually.
I mean, even in the media industry, when it's a story, and you have to keep going.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
the sleep deprivation, I mean, obviously you're going to have demands of the campaign going forward, and then the transition if he were elected into the new job. What does he feel caused? I mean, you explained what you think caused it, but going forward, how can he mitigate it?
Well, I can't speak for him on that situation, but I can say that, your growing demands of the campaign and as the current state rep now not in session are not that grueling, believe it or not.
Right.
And, other than short of a natural disaster occurring under his term as county judge, there's not much in daily course of the county judge that would warrant, 24 hours a day work. And so, during that time, it would be like any other person having to deal with natural disasters. People are just going to have to pace themselves and do what they can to do the job at the same time, making sure that they stay healthy for the job. So.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry, I had a couple more questions. Okay. Now there's another hearing. I guess, DPS rescheduled the hearing to March the 1st.
No, the Justice of the Peace judge rescheduled the hearing to March the 1st. Because they were apparently awaiting some document from the state, which we've now found that that's not necessary. The case is nothing more than the state's not presenting the case. It's up to us to present evidence.
Oh, okay. I thought DPS was the prosecutor on the case.
No, not at all. There's no attorney representing the state in this case at all.
Okay.
It's a hearing before a judge where you have to show your evidence that there is no medical issue that would warrant the state taking your license. We have medical evidence to show the contrary to that. We show no evidence that would warrant that, signed by several doctors that treated him at that time when he had the accident.
Okay, so would he consider providing the Montgomery County Gazette with a statement from his physician?
I don't know. I think since this is still a pending, I think this is still a pending case in court. Okay. It's not a legal matter per se. It's not a civil or a criminal matter. It's just a hearing. But at this point, no. I would say, I'm not able to talk to him on that matter. But at the moment, I would say no. I would advise him to hold on to his stuff until he disposes of this case, and then at which time he would make that public. I'd love to have the hearing tomorrow if the judge would allow it, but for some reason the judge postponed it for 90 days.
Okay. All right. Now, if you've not all, let's see. I'm sorry, I had written these questions in advance. Let's see. Would you? Okay. If for some reason that the issue doesn't get resolved, and he were to be elected, if elected as county judge, how would he handle the transportation to perform his duties?
It would be resolved. There is no evidence that would warrant removal of his license.
Okay.
The statutory obligation of what they call the candidate in this case for the hearing has been met. He has got multiple records signed by physicians that are treating him from the time of the accident and have done multiple follow-ups. And has complied with doctor's orders for further follow-ups. He's been fully released. There is no more follow-up scheduled at this point because we're now more than 6 months past the accident. Right. And every doctor's report shows that there is no medical evidence to suffice removal or suspension of a license, and he should resume normal driving and daily work activities.
Okay. Okay.
So at this point, we've met our case requirements on that, and it's just a matter of presenting those documents into the court so the judge can look at them and sign off on them.
Okay.
And again, there is no prosecutor. It's not a criminal case. The state's not building the case. Yeah.
I thought DPS was going to have somebody show up in court to present their case.
No, in fact, when we went on and I didn't go with him, but when he went on the 14th, it was just him. When the case got brought up on the docket, he was the only one that stepped up. The local ADA that normally does prosecute on the docket had no bearing in the case. There was no opposite side presenting evidence. It was just our turn.
Yeah, I was under the impression that DPS was going to send somebody from the Conroe office to the hearing.
Nope, not at all.
All right.
And in fact, there is no when you miss your medical review, there is no statutory way to have another one. So the only way to do this is now to go to the justice court. So had he not missed that, this would have been put to bed months ago. But the notice apparently was mailed during the special session time.
Right.
And so the rep does not remember getting that notice from DPS. He does remember getting the notice saying you didn't show up. Now here's your steps to fix this.
Right.
And so he's going through those steps to fix. But no, this would have been done months ago because the doctors have now submitted everything through DPS. It's all a matter of record with DPS. And we've satisfied DPS's thing. Now we've just got to satisfy this particular statute that says we have to go before the judge in this hearing, and the judge has to sign off on it.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And again, my name is Sherry Shorten, and all of our contact information's on the website, Montgomery County Gazette. Or you can call me back at this number. Did you
call Mark this morning?
No, I didn't try him directly. I had tried the Austin office, and the local number for the Woodlands office wasn't listed on the website.
There's been a problem with our local number.
Okay.
It's an AT&T issue. The building that we're in, someone hit the line a couple months ago during the storm.
Yeah.
And it got flooded. And ever since then, the number, when it rings 2 or 3 times, it may go, please enter a PIN number. And so I've taken the number off the website because there's no way if I'm not sitting next to the phone and grab it before the second ring, there's no way you won't get me. And there's no voicemail attached to it. It's completely screwed our system.
Also on the campaign website for the Keough for Texas, there's no phone number on there, but I did fill out the contact form on that last week. Yeah.
I'll have to go look at that because that does get sent to both of us, but I don't normally handle the campaign during state hours, so I wouldn't have caught it unless it
Well, no, I sent that I sent that last week.
But yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I'll give you his cell phone number. You're welcome to call him directly. Okay. He's in a meeting until about 2:30 this afternoon.
Okay.
He's dealing with state business. But you're welcome to call him anytime for any reason.
Okay.
Because especially in this situation, it's not something that I don't like to speak for someone when it involves such sensitive matters of this nature.
Right, I understand. Okay.
But his cell phone number is 8.
And you said after 2 or 2:30?
Yeah, he should be. His schedule is clear at 2:15, and then he's got nothing until about 3:30. He'll probably be traveling back from Houston up here from when he gets out of that meeting.
Okay.
And so it's just if you want to talk to him, you're welcome to anytime for any reason. And I always tell members of the press, if you can't reach him, you can call me. If I can speak to it, I will. And if I can't, then I'll do my best to get a hold of him so you can talk to him. Yeah,
I was rooting around trying to find a way to get in touch with him. And somebody gave me your number, and I was like, well, I'll try that.
No problem. I appreciate your questions are straightforward and easy to answer. There's nothing to hide here. It's just, it's a simple process that as state rep, he's going through this process that everybody would have to. There's been no special treatment given. They're not. They made him take a driving test with a trooper and a written test in May when he got his license back, just like you and I would if this had happened to us. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.